Hello viewers, I'm Kafu Yamenyo, the CEO of Slow Farms and Consults. Slow Farms and Consults, we are into animal rearing and we are into crops production and crop tree productions too as well. If I talk about crop tree production, it means we are into coconut farming, we are into oil palm plantation also. We are also into plantain plantation as well. And the other aspect of animals we talk about, we have goats, we have sheep, we have pigs as well. The state of coconut farming in Ghana, currently, per what I can see, or per my observation, I've seen that people are now into coconut farming, and we currently expanding the territories of planting coconuts. And what is happening is that now coconut itself, the water in coconut, it's now medicinal. Sometimes you go to hospital and the medical doctors do prescribe it to patients that they should take in more coconut water. And now it's because it's also helping, or looking at human health aspect, it's helping in that way. Now most people are now planting coconuts, and even the government introduced crop trees, and coconut was also part of the project, which government distributed coconut seedlings to most of the farmers in the country, which I was also part of the distribution. Like, government took some coconut seedlings from me to the farmers and to also boost the coconut plantation. Looking at the conditions for growing coconuts in Ghana, I think Ghana, most of our areas, coconut does well, but looking at the type of soil which you have to plant your coconut seedling or your coconut, you will normally, coconut normally, it does well around areas where the soil is somehow muddy, or even clay soil to coconut does, or it does well. The sandy soil to one way or the other, it does well, but mostly muddy areas, it does well, very well. But places where there are bedrocks, if there are bedrocks there, then you plant coconuts, the coconut might start growing very well, but with time, you see that the leaves then changes, like it becomes yellowish. It means the roots have hit a rock. And if it happens like that, the coconut tree will die off with time. So normally areas where there are a lot of rocks, it's not advisable to plant coconuts. But areas which are somehow waterlogged areas, sandy or clay soil, it's okay for coconut seedlings. Irrigation here normally depend on the normal climate, because here there is no dam here, there is no borehole around. So what happens is that we depend on the normal climate. But mostly coconut does well between the months of May, April, June to somewhere second week in December. Your coconut will do well, because by then the roots have entered the ground and there's no cause for alarm. But as it stands, we normally depend on the natural weather, or the natural climate. If it rains, we are happy. If it doesn't rain, we are one way or the other side. But coconut has that heart to resist to sunshine. Once the roots enters the ground, it's not much of a problem. And sometimes because of the weather, we normally support the coconut with plantain. That is intercropping. We normally do intercropping because the plantain then gives it shade, so that even if it's in the drying season, so with the shade it has, it can still survive. The planting distance for coconut seedlings is 25 feet. That's the planting distance for coconut seedlings. So an acre, you have 70 seedlings on an acre. And the planting distance for plantain is 10 feet. So on an acre, you have 600 sackets of plantain. But what happens is that because it's intercropping, we normally don't crowd the farms, so that, sharing of nutrients. So we don't want them to be competing. So what happens is that we reduce the 600 sackets of plantain to 400 sackets of plantain, so that at least they can share the nutrients. So by the coconut, we do the normal, because our target is to get a coconut farm, not a plantain farm. So the coconut, we normally go by the 25 feet planting distance. An acre, we have 70 seedlings on an acre. And we use the plantain also to support it. But let me chip in this. You know, with the plantain, after you cut the plantain and you leave the suckers for some time, or even not the suckers itself, you know, after cutting the tree left, you know, with time it rots. But when it rots, it becomes watery, or it has that moisture content. So if you plant the coconut closer to the plantain during dry season, you cut your plantain. Once the plantain turns, it has that moisture content. It one way or the other feeds the coconut with water. So even during dry season, it does well. The coconut does well. So that's the reason why we normally use the plantain for intercropping. Yes. The breeds of coconuts I have here is the Malayan dwarf type of coconuts. So you have the yellow one and you have the green one. And it matures in 3 years. After 3 years, it starts fruiting. Always I've been telling my customers, if you buy coconut seedlings from Slow Farms and Consort, and after 3 years it doesn't fruit, you come for your money. That is what I normally tell. And to be honest with you, I've done this for so many years, more than a decade. Nobody has even complained that I bought coconut seedlings from you and it didn't fruit. All of them. Like no one has even called to complain. And I think we are proud of that because we sell good seedlings. I've been practicing coconut farming also for over 2 decades now. And it's been profitable because I use coconuts. The money I got for coconut farming, that was what I used to finance my education at the tertiary level. When I was at Accra Polytechnic, I was still into the coconut business. Those days I was at Accra Polytechnic. I used to sell coconut seedlings to some of the lecturers. And I think I even did industrial attachment at TTP1, Vinari, the power plant at Tema. So I spoke to some of the engineers about my project I have, and they bought a lot of seedlings from me. And I realized that, no, this was a good business, and I could use the money to buy handouts for myself, also use some to pay my fees as well, and also use some as my pocket money. So I realized that, no, I was doing the right thing. So why don't I focus and do it well? And today you can see yourself. I have a very big coconut farms here. People come all over the country. All over the country, people come here to buy seedlings from me. Others also buy fruits. Some of the companies that they are into coconut processing, they also come here to buy coconut fruits from us. And it's been helping us, at least one way or the other. It puts money into our pockets. And you have money in your pockets, you solve problems. So we are happy with what we are doing. And I will encourage young ones who want to go into coconut farming also to take advantage of it, because now it's doing well and most people are now into coconut farming, and it's looking better. Transporting the coconut to our buyers or our customers, actually a lot is involved. Like the place is far, and the road too, like accessing a good road to the farms, we don't have that. But what happens is that we use the tricycle. Locally we call it aboboya. We use the tricycle to convey most of the farm produce or the coconuts to the roadside. Then after conveying it to the roadside, then maybe a Kia truck then comes in to convey it to Accra or wherever it needs to be transported to. Basically, those are some of the challenges we have looking at the transportation of the coconut from the farms to wherever it's supposed to be delivered. Looking at the diseases which affect coconut, my farm, what we have encountered and what is worrying to us is the beetles, the rhino beetles. There are some black insects. They normally get into the middle of the coconut and they cut it. So assuming the tree is 3 years and it's about to fruit, if they are able to eat into the middle of the coconut tree, it means the coconut is supposed to regeminate again. The whole process needs to start again. Sometimes the tree even die off. But when it happens like that, it's worrying, because you'll be maintaining the farm for 3 good years or more than that, and these beetles come in and they just destroy the coconut tree, and you have to replant a coconut seedling or a tree again for the next 3 years to start fruiting. It's worrying, but we do control them. So we normally buy chemical from the agro shops. One of them is the dustban. You have a dustban chemical too as well. So you spray it in the middle of the coconut tree, or you spray it around it. When they hear the scent of the dustban, they will not attack the coconut tree. Or you can even get a long stick or a long metallic object and use it to, you pierce it through them and you just get rid of them out of the coconut tree. So those are the ways we use to control the beetles in the farms. The other challenges too is bushfire. Last year like this, we thank God that we were not affected. This side there was bushfire coming all the way to the farms, but I don't know, God was on our side. Had it not been so, the farm would have been burnt to ashes by bushfire. So, you know, during the dry season, people go about hunting for grass cutter and other animals. And when they set fire, and you, the farmer, you are not around, before you come, they will set your farm on fire. So those are some of the challenges we have as farmers here. Controlling the bushfire in the farms, what we normally do is that during the dry season, we try as much as we can to dress the boundaries of the farm. We sweep away all the leaves and the other dried sticks and other stuff, so that in case there's fire at the other end, it will not be transferred to our farm. So we normally dress the edges of our farm during dry season in order to control bushfire. At the association, I'm with Ghana Farmers Association, and I think we have one United Farmers Association too as well. I'm with those associations, and I'm also with the Insawam Madreji Municipal Assembly's agri sector. We are also a recognized body under the Ministry of Agriculture. So we are under the Insawam MOFA, the Ministry of Agriculture set up at the municipal level. They also do come here for monitoring, and even when it's Farmers Day, they came here. They used to come here for recognitions and what's to be done, and things which are not done right, they correct us. The ones we do and they think it looks better, they talk about it and they give advice. They come here to advise us. Looking at coconut business in general, or the experience I have had in coconut farming, it's looking positive. It's a good project because coconuts can last for over 50 years. And I always tell my friends, add 50 years to your age. You know, if you add 50 years to your age, you just do the mathematics yourself. So, but after, and if you have something to enjoy up to that number of years, it looks better. Because I normally do, what we normally do here is long-term projects, long-term investments. We're doing long-term investment. Like I said, as we are young, we can be doing our normal things and we'll be getting our monthly something. But going forward, that's where the problem is. So this is a long-term investment, and looking at it, so it's looking good. The way people are also patronizing coconuts in the country. And now coconut is even expensive. One coconut is 5 cedis and 3 cedis. The small one is 3 cedis, the big one is 5 cedis. And aside that, it's also medicinal. So once it's medicinal, I'm cool with that, because at least if we can also save lives, saving lives, we are happy. If a medical doctor can tell somebody, oh, get coconut water and drink, and your sickness will be, and your problem will be solved, or your sickness will go. We sit back and we are also happy. At the end of the day, we are also helping the medical doctors. Whatever we do here is natural, like I said earlier on. This is organic farming. So we don't apply chemical fertilizers here. So what we do is that we normally use the poultry litter. So we get the manure from the poultry farmers. Then after that, what we do is that we sprinkle it around the coconut trees and also the plantain too as well. And it boosts the growth of the crops. And that's what we've been using here for the past years. And we've seen much improvement. The manure is doing well, it's working well, it supports the growth of the coconuts a lot. Like even during, if it starts yielding, and once we apply the manure, we see that, oh, at least the fruits is now many on the tree. So the poultry manure is helping a lot. And I thank all the poultry farmers who have been calling us to come for manure all the time. Actually, to be honest with you, most of them give it to us for free. Some you have to pay something small, but I understand because they have workers and other stuff. So one way or the other, they have to take something. And we are happy with their manure as well. We thank them. And I will encourage the youth to enter into coconut plantation. I said earlier on one of my comments that this is a long-term investment. And even being a long-term investment, one way or the other, we also employ people. Because you see, the farm is big. We do employ by day workers here. At the end of the day, we put money into people's pockets. And at the end of the day, we make them happy because they've gotten something to do and they've gotten something at the end of the day. So they are also happy. So going forward is like if you set up a coconut farm, it's a company you've set up. So going forward, you will be employing people and you put food on people's table. Slow farms and consults, our doors are open to the country or even the world. If I say the world, we do use the social media a lot, and the social media too is a worldwide platform. So normally people do communicate to us because they have our telephone numbers. They could get our telephone numbers from the social media. So we normally get calls all over the country and even abroad. We do communicate with other people. People want to learn about coconut farms, how they set up, how it goes, and all the risks associated with the projects and others. So we normally educate people, and we are always ready to welcome anybody at all who wants to learn. You know, our tradition to normally will tell you, God bless you, God bless you. So we also take it like that. At least they are saying God should bless us. So come what may, once the person is not having money, he or she wants to learn, and you've taught that person for free. And deep down in the person's heart, he or she knows that, oh, Charlie, this one, you taught me for free, but I don't have money for it. I told him, God bless you. I think the God blessing is what you people are seeing here. So we are also enjoying it.